about this morning is about a hell here on this earth. A hell that we as God's children, if somebody were to ask you out on the street, everybody look this way. If I were to ask you, if someone had asked you last week, can a child of God go to hell? What would you have said? Now be honest. What would you have said if someone had asked you, can a child of God go to hell? Huh? Last week you probably would have said, I hope you would have said
that. He would have said that.
Alright? Most of us would have said no. Why? Because God died for His people, and His people they'll be in the eternal heaven, and those that God did not die for, they'll be in hell. So therefore, can a child of God go to hell? Most of us can answer that. Can a child of God go to the eternal hell? Let me answer that question.
No.
No. Okay? Can a child of God experience a hell here on this earth? And that's what we're going to look at now, is to think about it. Again, I hope you'll see how that's rightly dividing the word of truth, looking at God's word and saying, and asking ourselves, what is that particular hell that it's talking about there? What is it talking about? It's talking about eternal hell? Is it talking about a hell right now? In Psalm 9:17, that's kind of the text for this lesson is, we read, that I got it printed out right there on the first line, Psalm 9:17.
The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God.
The wicked shall be turned to hell, into hell, and all the nations that forget God. Now, God's Word is full of examples of groups of people that forgot God and turned their back on God. And based on what the psalmist says here, whenever the nation forgets God, and that can apply to cities. Contrast, I believe one of your texts was the Psalm 33:12. Okay? Blessed is the nation, or the wicked shall be turned into hell. The opposite of that, as what Brother Brian spoke on this morning, is be turned to hell. Whenever we're blessed, that's God's blessings. What are two other things that come in line with blessings that we've heard this morning? Sir? Huh? Curses. Okay, that's the opposite of it. But along the line of blessings that Daddy was just speaking about, you have blessings, life, good. Alright, all those are associated with blessings. But then the cursings, you have death, perish, and evil. For the wicked shall be turned to hell, and all the nations that forget God. Can you think of anybody, don't look at your paper, look at me. Anna, look up here. Can you tell me anybody, any individual, or any city, or any nation that God did it? Now there are some people that will say God's a God of love. God would never hurt somebody. God would never cause harm to anybody. Have you heard somebody tell you that? Well, God is just a God of love. Have you heard?
But He's also a just God and a jealous God.
Okay, He is. But people don't understand that. All they want to talk about is the love of God. Can you tell me an individual or a city or a nation that God turned into hell or caused them to suffer a hell while they were on this earth? First of all, somebody give me an individual. Dr. Jackson or Julie, you don't count. An individual. Bryce. Huh? No, you just heard him. Give me somebody else.
I like that. Go ahead and talk about it.
Alright, Bryce, how did God turn Jonah's life? Did God cause the hell that Jonah suffered? Was that from God? Okay? Why did God cause Jonah to suffer a hell on this earth? He did the exact opposite of what God had told him to do. And that's what I said, the wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget God. But we need to realize that can apply to us as individuals. God will turn our life into hell if we ignore Him. If we do the exact opposite of what His Word tells us to. All right, that's an individual. Can anybody tell me a city that God turned into hell? Is this the one you were going to say earlier, or is this another one? Same one. All right, go ahead. Sodom and Gomorrah. Now there are people today that will say, oh, the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, that's just a fable. That didn't really happen. There's no proof that that actually happened. How many of you saw satellite pictures a few years ago that NASA came out with that they confirmed this was Sodom and Gomorrah? Did anybody see that? Pretty neat. Go home and Google it. Pictures of Sodom and Gomorrah.
The remains.
The remains. It is total desolation to this day. And they say that there's no way that for however many thousands of years, life will not exist there today because of whatever the gases that were in that brimstone, the effect that it had, that life will not exist there. So we've got an individual Jonah, we've got a city that God turned to hell. Can you imagine how many, we had a hailstorm in Tifton, when was it, Sunday night? Sunday night. And it was just little, maybe the size of marbles. But can you imagine, have you ever seen it hail, sometimes baseball-sized hail, and heard it hit your roof, or seen a car after that hail hit it and it just destroyed that car? That's what happened when God caused that brimstone to begin raining down on Sodom and Gomorrah. It just destroyed it, flattened it, and it was so hot that it melted things all around it. All right, so we've got an individual, we've got a city. How about a nation? Can anybody tell me a nation that God turned to hell?
Egypt.
Okay, how did he turn? Well, they were
The Nile plagues because of disobedience.
all right.
Jewish nation.
The Jewish nation. Tell me about the Jewish nation. When did that occur?
Several times.
Anybody? Some of you older people.
Everything turns out to God.
All right, listen. Let's just think about that for a second. I've got this written down on here about towards 3/4 of the way down. I've got what I call, I've got the nation, the children of Israel, and what I call the circle of life. Circle of life. And you can see this in the Old Testament with the children of Israel time after time after time again. And you can see it in our lives. I can see it in my life. My life. What happens? And it starts off with blessings, where God is blessing, and I'm just going to take me as an example. But this, you can see this in the children of Israel, where God blesses me, and things are good. Things are good. Life is good. And then what happens? What's the next? I've got a circle of life. What comes after blessings? Forget God. Have you ever, listen, just be honest, have you ever forgotten God? Have you ever forgotten God? Where, I can remember when I was in the banking business, and I had a fast-paced life. Get up in the morning, God, I'm going to be better than that. I'd stand in the shower praying, God, I want to be blessed to be a better man today, blessed to be a better father today. And then we get home at night at 6 or 7 o'clock and just hang my head in shame because I hadn't even gone back to God in prayer the whole day. Had I done better? What happens is whenever things are good in our life, we tend to forget God. We tend not to rely on God as much. We tend to forget that it is God that gives us every good thing. Just like the children of Israel, sometimes we do. We are blessed, we are blessed, we are blessed. Then we begin to forget God. And then we forget God. And then what's the next thing that happens after we forget God? What's the next thing on the paper? Warnings. Sometimes you get warnings from your parents. Sometimes whenever you forget to do what you're supposed to be doing, your mom or dad might say, caution. Giving you a warning. You didn't do this, or you did this that you weren't supposed to do. And sometimes what does that warning do? It corrects us. Sometimes that's all I need. Stand up there. He was about to fall asleep. Snap your fingers. He used to do a lot better than that. Or
He
whistle.
used to strike fear in his heart.
Whistle. That was my warning. I ran the ears. Right. Listen, sometimes all I had to do was hear that right there. Buddy, I could straighten up. He didn't have to say a word. Sometimes that's all God has to do to us. Sometimes we hear the finger snap. Sometimes we hear warning. Sometimes we hear the preached word, and we are warned, and then we correct our path. But sometimes we just keep right on going. Sometimes I'd be out in the neighborhood playing. I hear Daddy whistle. I say, oh, I feel like I didn't hear that. I'll just tell him I didn't hear it. Sometimes we're like that with God. We hear it, but we ignore it. What's the next thing that comes after we heed the warnings and we don't heed the warnings? What comes? Judgment. And that judgment, when God comes with judgment and we are not doing what we are supposed to be doing, that's when the spanking comes. That's when the leather gets you back there with your parents. Destruction. Hell. That's the hell on this earth that you and I, as individuals, what we as families, what we as churches, what we as cities, what we as a nation, that is the hell that we ought to be afraid of. I'm not scared one bit about the eternal hell. The hell at the end of this world, I'm not worried about that at all. But we ought to be scared to death of a hell on this earth. I would forget. And as soon as I would hear my dad when I was growing up, all right, son, that's it. Take you a bedroom. I knew hell was coming. You know what I mean? And when God comes and judges you and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you hear, son, whipping's coming. You'll be sorry then, and guess what? My daddy, now there were times when my daddy would tell me, son, I'm going to have to spank you. And sometimes he wouldn't spank me. But if I ever got sent down the hall, it was too late. Because what did I always do? Every time I knew I was about to get a spanking, what did I start doing? What do you think? Begging. Tears would start flowing. Crocodile tears. Daddy, I will never do it again. Please don't, Daddy. And when God comes, and that judgment hits, that's what we as God's children do. God, if you'll just, how many of you ever said this? God, if you'll just get me through this, don't do this, I will never do that again, or I will be more committed to you. Just please, God, don't punish me. It's too late. All right, so that's called the circle of life. Think about this. I'm 50 years old. Sometimes the children of Israel suffered for a long time. It's not just a spanking and it's over with. Sometimes that hell can last for a long time. Listen, here's what we need to think about. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And in the New Testament, which Paul talks about those things that were written aforetime, all the examples that we have of the children of Israel in that circle of life, it was written for us to learn by example of what has already happened. Can and will God judge America? Just one person from this side and one person from this side. Tell me how God could turn America into hell. How could God turn America into hell? Somebody on this side. Anybody? Come on. Got to have one from this side. How can God turn America into hell?
Take away our religious freedom.
Listen. Is that being done right now? You better believe it. Take our religious freedom away. Oh, you didn't want to go to church? Well, guess what? Now you're never going to have an opportunity to go to church and worship freely again. You'll have to do it in secret. Did that happen in America? It is happening in America. All right, somebody over here. How did God turn America into hell?
Another country or nation.
Listen, we have been, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in history, this is the longest a nation has ever gone enjoying the freedom that we enjoy. We take it for granted. Could China overrun America tomorrow? They could if God decided to allow it to happen. It is God who has kept other countries. Yes, we've got a great military, but He's blessed us with the military that we have. God has. God has kept other countries from invading America. It can stop tomorrow. And if God let that happen, He would be just in doing so because we have turned our back. We have forgotten God. My time is up. Thank you.